5 Live. Really interesting conversations around AI. So let's bring in tech industry expert Dan Sodergren. So welcome to the programme, Dan. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Now, I mean, how concerned should we be about artificial intelligence? Should we be concerned, or is this just much to do about nothing?
Oh, good Lord, it's certainly not much to do about nothing. I said, we've got to look at it in a slightly different way. I mean, it's not the AI itself. Remember, there's lots of different types of AI, lots of different companies that are doing it. Literally tens of thousands of different startups are using AI. But obviously, some of the newest ones are getting very famous. I think the gentleman's edge talks about Mid-Journey creating, different images and OpenAI doing different things. But, it's not AI that will replace you. It's somebody who's using it that will replace you. This is the same as using emails or computers or electricity or fire. I mean, it's AI is a tool, but the difference here is, of course, it's a superhuman one, which allows you to become 10 or 100 times more productive. And I do feel for the gentleman who was talking there before, the artist, because I work in marketing, and as a marketeer, my jobs, at least 80-90% of my jobs now gone. So much so that I wrote a book which is simply called How to Do Amazing Marketing Instantly with the Power of AI, because you now can, just as that gentleman was talking about creating artwork instantly, you can do marketing instantly. You can even write books really quickly. I wrote a book called The AI Advantage, which was written by AI and then edited by another AI. It's that ridiculous. So you can create anything.
Let's take it back a moment. You are the expert, but for layman's terms, people listening that aren't really getting it, kind of break it down for us. So, okay, I'm an author. I'm not an author, but if I wanted to be an author, I could potentially go and find one of these apps and tell the AI, write my life story, and it will do it for me, and then I can publish it as a book. No?
Well, I think it was your life story that might be a little bit more complicated from just somebody who did have to research about you. But you could use an AI that could go onto the internet. If you were famous enough to have lots of things about you, it could definitely find out about you, write a Wikipedia article, then think about the different things it would put into the book. And then potentially, if you were using GPT-4 rather than ChatGPT, slightly more advanced one, GPT 3.5 or Chat as it's known, ChatGPT is a bit like asking a 16-year-old to do stuff, whereas if you do 4, it's about asking a 21-year-old. So similar principle. But if we break it down, if you asked a 21-year-old to go and research the internet about you and write a book, they most probably could do that. Yeah, that's exactly what artificial intelligence can now do, except it does it within a matter of minutes, not a matter of days.
And I will say, I tested this out, actually. I tested this out the other day, actually, and we put some things into this site, and it came back with a kind of an overview of an organisation, but it was inaccurate. Yeah. As a journalist, I know, because I know the organisation, so I was going through it with a fine-tooth comb, and I'm like, that's not the founder, that's not who created that organisation. So you can't just lift it verbatim thinking that's it. There are flaws in that end of AI. So any students thinking, right, they're going to lift stuff from AI, it's not, some of it's inaccurate. You have to cross-check it.
The thing is, Greg, you're absolutely right to say that, because if you use a slower version or a worse version, unfortunately, some of these things literally, as they like to call it hallucinations. But obviously, for a human being, it's literally a lie. If you're using the stuff that can now go on the internet, it's less likely to lie. But never, ever believe that the AI system's infallible. Not quite yet. And in fact, we wouldn't want it to be. So, obviously, use it like you'd use anything. If you're using the internet, check your sources. As you know, as a journalist, you've always got to check your sources, especially with artificial intelligence. But of course, if you're doing stuff like creating, cartoon imagery or graphics, or these other things you can do, that's when you don't have to worry too much about the sources. But of course, there is a massive thing at the moment about where does all this information come from and how the heck can it do it all? Because there's a whole copyright issue that potentially could happen, but that's a deeper point.